Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. Today I have the privilege to speak to Teresa Barrera, and I will be going over one of our interviews for the 31 by 31 project for the Hispanic Heritage Month. Teresa, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're doing good, thank you. And Teresa is the founder of Barrera-Shaw Group,
Yes.
correct? Um, well, before we get started with that, because that's something that I want to talk to you about, would you please let us know a little bit about your background? We would like to hear your story.
Well, so I had a wonderful career with Walmart for 27 and a half years. And it was an amazing career. I got to travel the world, and I got to do a lot of different things while I was with Walmart. The amazing thing was I started off as a part-time cashier at a Sam's Club in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, wow.
And when I left my career, I was the vice president of supplier administration for Walmart. So in the middle of it all, there was a lot of great things that happened, but it was a wonderful career. I had 6 very different jobs during that 27 and a half years. And with that, it just had me appreciate everything that goes on to making the clubs and stores work.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. That's such a long trajectory, and with a Fortune 1 company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun.
So after you left your successful career at Walmart, you decided to start your own organization?
Yes, me and my husband, I left, and then about a year later, my husband left, and we decided that between the two of us, we had 60 years of experience in retail, and we help suppliers get into Walmart or sell their products into Walmart, or we just help them with their business strategies, making sure they, have a good business strategy going forth, and where they want to go, how they want to get there, and so we help them prepare for that.
And so what's the why? I know you're helping businesses, but is there something that propels you to help them, basically?
So my last job at Walmart, I was the vice president of supplier diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And in that job, my job was to help minority and women-owned businesses get into Walmart and help them understand what all it means. And so when I left Walmart, I still wanted to help and be able to help a minority-owned women's business, a women's business, a Hispanic business, help them understand what it takes to get into Walmart. And sometimes they think getting into Walmart or Sam's Club is the best thing ever, but it's a lot of work, and sometimes they're not ready. Right. And sometimes you got to just help them with the baby steps to get ready. And so that's a lot of what I do.
That's inspiring, because a lot of people get dismissed, or they say, well, you're that's too much for you. But it seems like you have a path, not just that assessment, but telling them, hey, these are the steps.
Right. And you want to start someplace else. You don't want Walmart to be your first stop. You want to go other places first and then come to Walmart. And a lot of people think if they got Walmart, then they've made it. Well, not necessarily. So you got to help them understand it and understand the why.
So you do, I guess, a lot of truth telling, making people understand themselves.
Yes. So, but then you also have really good suppliers that are ready and have bring supplies and bring merchandise to Walmart it's just phenomenal, and it's fun to watch grow. So you got both sides.
Okay. So now, one of the themes that I keep seeing in business publication is change management. And I think that what you're sharing kind of goes with that. So as you were an agent for change in Walmart, Fortune 1 company, what lessons did you learn? Because I know that you're telling these people, hey, it might be too much for you. You might want to start there, but could you share some of those additional lessons that you got from working at Walmart?
all change management is the willingness to change and look outside the box. And as human beings, our nature is to always do it the same way. And really what change management is making sure you look outside your parameters and making sure you're not missing anything. And really is being open-minded and willing to change is really what change management is. It's like not being stuck in the same breath that you're going paperless. When electronic, people don't want to go paperless because they're used to it, but that's part of change management is how do you save on the environment? What can you do differently? How can you look at a project or people differently? I mean, that's change management. And I think just really that's being open-minded and trying new things.
And Latinos in general, sometimes we are adverse, risk adverse or resistant to change. Have you noticed any changes over the last few years as to that openness?
And I look at my daughters. I have two daughters. One's 25 and one's 22, and they don't think like we used to think. Now they think they really can do anything they want to do, and they have that opportunity, and they want to change the world, and they want to go out and do their thing. And as Latinos and Latinas, as I was raised, working and being a full-time mom and working was different from what my mom did and what my grandmother did. The husband went out and the woman stayed home, and now I was going out. And to tell my daughters that they would have to stay home and take care of kids, I don't even think they would listen today, right? And so the way we've changed our way of thinking and our daughter's way of thinking and the way people look at us and standing up saying, I can do that versus it'll come to me if I'm deserving. No, I can go out and do it. And I deserve to do it. And I want to do it. And not just sitting around waiting for it to come to us. We got to go out there and catch it. And I think just watching the next generation, watching your generation, watching them come up, it's like, we're not sitting down anymore. Yeah. Like, we can do the job and we're just as good as everybody else, even better, because our work ethic and the way we work and our humbleness and our, just the way we do things is there.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
Do you feel
exciting all at once?
What is that again?
I said wonderful and exciting all at once, just to see us come alive.
Yeah, and I have seen that a lot in I've had my MBA, recently completed my MBA, and there's a lot of Latinos enrolled in school, in management school. So I definitely see that change. Do you feel like it's harder for us to teach the next generation, like work ethic and work ownership?
I think we teach, I learned it from my parents. We teach it as we do it. We teach it as we live it, right? And I think that's in our DNA. And I think the way we work and the way we treat people and the way we live, that's the way our kids are going to be. And our hearts and our souls it's inherited.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we got to make sure that we instill our culture and our values with them. So Congratulations on your MBA.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
now,
that's wonderful.
So do you also feel like large organizations are waking up to the realization that Latinos are such an important segment to our population? And should we feel or have a different perspective of our own contributions?
I think large organizations are realizing it just because of our buying power. If you look at the Latinos, our buying power is huge. Yeah. Even look at the way they're eating. Salsa outsells ketchup today. And I wish I had numbers with me, but we used to do a study and 1 in every 4 people in the next 50 years are going to be Latino or have Latino blood in them, right? And so I think the way we live and what we do inherently is going to come out. And the way that people look at us, I think it's inherently going to come and be what people cater to. Now, as far as being in management and stuff, I think we need to step up and say we can do those jobs,
Yeah.
and not wait for them to come to us. I think we need to step up and say, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because we are ready. We just need to shout it from the mountaintop, and not wait for somebody to come and tap us on the shoulder. We need to stand up and say, I can do that, and be there.
And you're a prime example. I mean, you moved up in like I said, I know I keep saying it, but it's just impressive. A Fortune 1 company, you moved up and you had such a successful career. You are evidence that, that we have that.
And it can happen. I mean, I was a corporate officer for Fortune 1 for 12 years. And you sit back and you're like, how'd she get it? I stood up and I said I was ready. When they tapped me on the shoulder, I'm ready, I can do it. Was I positive I could do it? But I gave off the confidence that I could. So it was great. And I had the opportunity. And a lot of the time was being at the right place at the right time, and the ability and willingness to say yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't second guess ourselves. We have to have that confidence that we can do it.
And so I guess on advice, a lot of people feel like they have to have that confidence when they go and do certain things. Like they feel like they must already know. But in a lot of those circumstances, they're trailblazers, they're groundbreakers. So, what advice do you give them on confidence? Is something that they have to have, or does it build?
I think both. I think you have to have some, and then people have to help build you up some. And I think, we get humble and say, oh, I didn't do it. But instead of saying, oh, thank you. Thank you, I did that. Yes, thank you. That was great. I appreciate you noticing, instead of just saying, like act like, being humbled about it. And I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And I think that we have to have confidence, and then we have to know that people want us to succeed and give us confidence. And we got to give and take on that. But there's nothing wrong with having confidence in what you can do.
Yeah.
So, and always having a great mentor and somebody to be on your side and coach you through it's always a great idea.
Have you had mentors in your career that
I've had, everybody has, right? Yeah. And whether it's somebody up close and personal, or you watch somebody from afar, or you learn by watching people do different things, I think everybody has those. You learn by watching and picking up things. Yeah, but I've had some amazing mentors. So what people forget is when you ask the question of how am I doing, right? When you ask that question, you got to be ready for the answer.
Oh yeah.
Right. And sometimes when we ask a question, we're just expecting, oh, you did great. But what you really learn from is when somebody's really honest with you and gives you the answers that you need to make yourself better.
Yeah.
And so, being vulnerable to ask that question is, how did I do? One, being vulnerable to ask the question, but two, having the courage to take the answer and make yourself better.
Yeah.
And so and there comes the confidence in saying, I know I wasn't perfect. I'm going to open myself up to you, David, and how did I do? And how could I have done better?
Right.
And then making those changes. And I think sometimes we feel like we don't want to ask, we don't want to impose, but if we really, really want to get better, we need that person, somebody that can help us get better.
Yeah.
And they can be truthful with us.
Yeah. Truth telling, it's an art. Yeah. I believe it's, somebody called it radical candor.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a way for you to uplift you, and be true about, the areas that you need to succeed. And so it seems like that's something that you do often with companies and people that are coming to you with projects.
It is. And I remember this one this story, this lady, I didn't go into Walmart. I was on this particular client, I was helping her build her business strategy and getting her prepared, and I was not going with her. So she went by herself, and I said, they're going to ask these questions. These are some of the questions that they may or may not ask, and just be prepared. And she said, no, I don't know why they would ask me that. I think you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, but just kind of be prepared. And we met afterwards, and she goes, how did you know?
Yeah.
And I said, because those are the questions I would ask. And it was being, and she thought I was just being, that I didn't know what I was talking about. And me having the confidence and saying, okay, great. I hope they don't, but be prepared. And it was, just having the confidence to sit back and say, I know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and I just, trying to help you. And that alone, and having the confidence to say, and not back down to what I was, trying to help her with. I think it made a huge difference. Plus, it gave me a lot of confidence that I do know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
And so it was both ways. She had more confidence in me, and it gave me more confidence in myself. So it was good.
And that's something that I think that our audience need to also look into themselves and have that confidence and know, you're there because you have something special. You moved up because you had value that you brought into Walmart. So,
but you also got to remember that there was a whole lot of nights second guessing, and there was a whole lot of nights wondering, did I make the right decisions when I was called up to do a different job. Yeah. And there was a whole lot of nights of like doubting myself, to myself, but never to anybody else, right? Yeah. So you can have those conversations to yourself, but when the door opens, you walk in and you show everybody that you have the confidence. So
yeah. And for you, you moved on different roles, so you're always challenged
all the time. It was great, and that's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that make you well-rounded to help the people that you're helping right now.
Yeah. One of the things I do right now, Becky Penites has a women's leadership group called the Insights Group, and they have a program called the PLE. And one of the things we talk about that is for women advancing women. And when I'm their coach, I said, you got to let me get up close and personal, and you got to trust me. Yeah. And sometimes trusting somebody to answer you truthfully is really hard. Yeah. And it's I've learned so much from the people that I've coached, because you always want to, when you're coaching somebody, if you're not learning along the way, then you're missing out. So I've learned so much from the people I've coached, and it's been so inspiring for me. It's been good. So
that's awesome. Now let me ask you one more thing. One of the questions that we have been asking our members is, how do you keep your Hispanic heritage alive?
So about probably about 8 years ago, we started making tamales on Christmas Eve. My father was still alive. Now, mind you, the first year was awful. But every year since then has gotten better. So my daughters do it now. They look forward to it. I have my goddaughter that comes over, and it's as you know, it's a whole day event. Yeah. It takes 2 days to prepare to do it, and then it's a whole day event. But my daughters love it because they just love it, and it's wonderful. And we still have, one of the things about Hispanics is you're always having family dinners. Birthdays are a big deal. So, I have 4 kids, 2 of my own and 2 were my husband's. So our family is 4. My 62-year-old mentally retarded brother lives with us. So that's 5. So there's 7 of us. And on our birthdays, it's family time. So at least 7 times a year, it is mandatory family day. And that's the only way. We play games, we dance, we have music, we have whatever they want to eat. And it's just a sense of family. And I don't, how do you bring that to life? It's just making sure that you have family time.
Right.
And, family time and faith time and prayer time, that, we all get down and pray together, and we have family, we laugh together, we love together, and, we just have a great family bond. So
that's so special. I mean, bonding over tamales.
It is. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It is great. And then our non-Hispanic friends, they want to come and be a part of it. And we're like, you have to work.
Yeah.
It's not free. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Do you cover the entire kitchen?
My husband hates to stay because as we're cooking, he's cleaning. So
yeah, we remember those days because we had to carry the cacerola with a lot of water, and it was usually me and my brother, and we had to carry it around and put it on the counter. So yeah, we understand that.
Yes, it's fun. Now, I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying we're getting better every year.
Hey, that's a good thing,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also one more thing that I want to ask you is what's next for you? What are you working on?
Oh my goodness. We have several clients that we're working with. So just continue to do what I'm doing now. Hopefully take more vacations. Mm-hmm. I was just on the phone with one of my girlfriends, and they just bought a house in Florida, and she goes, come down during the winter. So I think we have to make a trip, and but continue to make sure that my girls are ready for the world, and making sure that there's some strong Latinas out there that they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, as Latinos, we need to make sure that we're pulling each other up, mm-hmm. so that when my girls are ready, that there's a hand for somebody to pull them up with.
Yeah.
And that they extend their hand for somebody else. And so that's the only way we're going to make it to the top, is if we're helping each other, mm-hmm. and making sure that we succeed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I can encourage anything at all, is to make sure that we're putting our hand out and giving construction criticism, giving them, making sure that we're helping and making them better, so that somebody's helping my daughter, and she's helping somebody else along the way. That's the only way we're going to make through this.
Yeah. And
I think it's going to be, I am so excited about what the future holds.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful.
And I think that, your company has the right vision and the right motivation behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just, we don't just do minority and women-owned businesses. We do all businesses, but it's fun to watch businesses grow, no matter who they are. So it's nice.
It's almost like a seed.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And not just businesses, but people, right? Yeah. Just watching people grow and get promoted and move on. So it's good.
That's awesome. Well, I don't want to take more of your time. I know you're busy, but we really thank you for taking this time to talk to us.
It's kind of nice not having a mask to have to wear while we're talking, right?
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I'm here in Bentonville, so I'll reach out to you on LinkedIn. I'd like to connect with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking your time with us.